calendar for next year there.
national anthem.
Forward, march!
Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the
Good morning and welcome to our Veterans Day celebration here at Grantsburg High School. We're here today to recognize current and former members of the United States military. We want to thank them for their dedication, sacrifice, and service. The history of Veterans Day can be traced back to World War I. At the end of World War I, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, there was an armistice signed between the Allies and the Germans. In 1919, Woodrow Wilson proclaimed November 11th as Armistice Day to recognize the tragedies of war. In 1938, Armistice Day was recognized an official federal holiday. In 1954, Congress changed the name of Armistice Day to Veterans Day to recognize all veterans. Beginning with the first shots of the Revolutionary War and continuing to this day, there is a strong tradition of Americans serving in the United States military. Men and women of different colors, religions, political parties, and beliefs have joined the American military. The men and women of the United States military have stood strong to protect our country and belief systems, as well as those of our allies around the world. They have sacrificed much to preserve our freedom. Every year on Memorial Day, we recognize that more than 1.1 million Americans were given the ultimate sacrifice in defense of our freedom. In our community, we always remember Marine Sergeant Carson Holmquist, who was killed on July 16, 2015, while on duty in Chattanooga, Tennessee. However, today is the day that we say thank you to the approximately 17 million living veterans, about 300,000 of those living in Wisconsin. Many of you have a family member or friend who served in the military. Today is the day to let them know that you appreciate them for their service and honor them for their sacrifice. There are many GHS graduates who have served honorably in the U.S. military. Many of them enlisted knowing that America was at war and they might end up in combat. But they still chose to potentially make the ultimate sacrifice. All veterans, whether having served in peacetime or during war, chose to serve and sacrifice for the greater good of our freedoms and our country. As a veteran myself, I want to say thank you to the other veterans in attendance. Thank you to those of you who served in peacetime, those of you that served in wartime, and especially to those of you that served in combat. It is with the highest respect and gratitude that we say thank you to all veterans today. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of our celebration.
A thank you to our choir and coming up our band for sharing your impressive talents with us today. The Grantsburg High School Commons has proudly displayed the Wall of Honor for decades, and we are proud to have a new design as of this school year. The concept of the wall was generated by Dave Alquist and diligently maintained by Cindy Throngard, Jean Merrick, and now Heidi Inkster. This wall is in the presence of our students every day and commonly studied by guests. Nearly every military recruiter that visits the high school expresses their gratitude for that Wall of Honor. Today, Veterans Day, it is our privilege to honor those who have answered the call to serve our nation. We are blessed to have Sergeant Andrew Dahlberg join us today as our honorary speaker. Sergeant Dahlberg is a graduate of Grantsburg High School and has proudly answered the call to serve our country. Sergeant Dahlberg entered military service in 2004 by enlisting in the U.S. Army. He received training at Fort Knox, Kentucky, to become a cavalry scout. He was subsequently assigned to the 1st Squadron, 10th Cavalry Regiment, 4th Infantry Division at Fort Hood, Texas. He was assigned as a driver for both a Bradley fighting vehicle and armored Humvee. His first of 3 deployments was to Iraq, where he conducted missions to disrupt weapon smuggling operations. Sergeant Dahlberg was next assigned to the 1st Battalion, 6th Infantry Regiment, 1st Armored Division in Germany for training as a Humvee gunner and expert dismounted patrol. In 2008, he was deployed again to Iraq in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. Sergeant Dahlberg has returned to live in Burnett County and serves the Grantsburg area through his employment at Northwestern Electric Company. He is a proud husband and father to a beautiful family. Please help me in welcoming Sergeant Andrew Dahlberg.
Good morning, everyone. Probably not here yet. Thank you for having me here. Mr. Haas asked me to speak to all of you today about what it means to be a veteran. And honestly, that's a really hard question. I guess I'm going to start with the basics of who I am. My name is Andrew Dahlberg. I grew up here in Grantsburg, Wisconsin. I went to high school here. I played football. I was in band, and I competed at state forensics. I graduated in 2000 and was accepted with almost a full ride to Milwaukee School of Engineering, where I proceeded to fail out. In 2001, I left the Midwest and moved on my own to Mesa, Arizona, where I spent 3 years on a 2-year degree studying criminal justice. If you can't tell by now, formal education really wasn't my thing. I preferred being outside and traveling to new areas. One of my biggest loves at this stage of my life was snowboarding, and I was able to travel all over the country to do this. In 2004, I realized I wasn't making any progress in life and decided to join the U.S. Army, mainly because I knew they were hiring. With the war in Iraq heating up, I made the decision to become a 19 Delta Cavalry Scout. The job description states that you are the eyes and ears of the battlefield. You will operate independently in small groups to assess any hostile actors in your area of operation. Once you assess the threat, you will decide on an appropriate course of action. You will also need to be able to respond to any threat that should arise, such as being surrounded and cut off. What it really became was a jack of all trades in combat arms. A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. William Shakespeare hit the nail on the head with that quote. As a cavalry scout, we took on many duties, but our main task was to learn how to fight. We became experts with rifle, pistol, shotgun, grenade launcher, light machine gun, medium machine gun, heavy machine gun, even a machine gun that fired grenades. After all that, we became experts at doing it at night, doing it while mounted in a Humvee or Bradley fighting vehicle. We became experts in driving and maneuvering our wheeled and tracked vehicles alone with our platoon and our squadron. Firing a 50 caliber machine gun while driving 50 miles an hour over rough terrain is not a skill you can just pick up. We learned how to raid houses, defend streets, sneak into hostile territory unobserved. We learned advanced first aid, which placing an IV, and performing a tracheotomy. We even became experts with the most dangerous weapon in our arsenal, our radio. We could call in artillery and airstrikes with precision, radio for tank and infantry to provide backup, communicate with Apache helicopters providing overwatch. After learning all of this, once you reach that rank of sergeant, you are now responsible for teaching that to everyone else in your platoon. Looking back, it is incredible the amount of things basic modern combat soldiers had to master in order to survive on the battlefield. In the 6 years I was in, I traveled all over the U.S. and Europe and completed 2 tours to Iraq. I flew in Black Hawk and Chinook helicopters, performed a combat landing into Baghdad International Airport on a C-130. I unloaded ships full of tanks in the Persian Gulf. I walked the famous battlefields of Europe like the Normandy beaches and the forests around Bastogne. The craziest thing I ever witnessed was an AHA blowing up after being struck by enemy mortar fire. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, that doesn't sound so crazy. That sentiment is very true, but let me explain it to you a little bit. An AHA is an ammo holding area. It is where the U.S. Army stores all its ammunition. Every base has one. Their job is to calculate how many rounds of ammunition are needed and what type based on who is stationed at that base. For example, they would store upwards of 2 months worth of ammunition for every weapon system located there. Here's how they calculate it. One combat day is 3 engagements. One engagement consists of probably about 210 rounds for an M4 rifle. So that's 630 rounds allotted per day. Now you multiply that 30 times in a month for 2 months, and you get to, does anyone do that math yet? 37,800 rounds per soldier on the base. Now imagine the scale of this in very simple terms. There's 25 soldiers per platoon, 3 platoons per troop per company, 3 companies per battalion, 4 battalions per brigade. At this day, there were 2 brigades. Has anybody got that math? You didn't think you were doing math right now, did you? The answer is 68,040,000 rounds of ammunition, and that was only for one weapon system. Now remember how many weapon systems I told you we had to master? Well, there was ammunition for them all. Missiles, tank rounds, artillery shells, you name it, it was there, and it was exploding. For 12 hours, this AHA exploded. If you went outside, the concussion waves would knock you off your feet. It was insane. And the best part is, there's video of it on YouTube. I could recall you with more of these stories, but I think everyone's ready to move on. What does it mean to be a vet? It means I feel old. I mean, not as old as some of your teachers here, but I feel old for my age. If my eyes are better, I could probably point out a few of them that taught me way back when. Yeah. Anyway, I won't. All right, old is more than just your physical age, though it can describe all the crazy life experiences you can have. In a 1-year time frame, I saw with my own eyes the birthplace of civilization, the city of Babylon. I was blown up in multiple IEDs. I helped bring joy to Iraqi children who had no concept of electricity or running water, or modern civilization in general. I watched my friends die in ways I'll never forget. I partied at Mardi Gras and Oktoberfest like tomorrow would never come. What wild highs and lows. That's why I feel old at 41. Being a vet also taught me that you can never be totally prepared for life's challenges, but you should try to learn new things every day. Right now, I'm doing my best to learn about mental health. See, with all those wild highs and lows comes depression, anxiety, anger, irritability. I've learned as a vet that my mental health is just as important as my physical health. It took me 40 years to figure out that being healthy mentally takes practice. How many athletes do I have in this room? Don't you guys have a football game tonight or something? Can I hear you? You can call out. How many athletes do I got in here? A lot. How many band and choir members do I have? I have a few, right? How many gamers do I have? Anybody gaming these days? All right. What do all those things have in common if you really want to be good at it? They take practice. hard work, and practice. Nothing in life worth doing should come easy. Being healthy mentally takes practice just the same. Mindfulness, being present, and breathing exercises are the way I practice to improve my mental health. I don't care what your goals are, who you want to be, what kind of lifestyle you want to live. I want you to just know that there are people out there that believe in you. You may never know it, but they are there. Life will surprise you in many ways. At one of the worst points in my life, somehow, one of my best friends from childhood showed up and saved my life. I would see him maybe once a year at most, but he believed in me, and he knew that I was in trouble and that I was worth saving. I just want everyone here to know that you are worth it. I can't stress this enough. If you are struggling, talk to someone. Family, friends, teachers, whatever online community you are a part of. There are so many resources out there if you need help. The stigmas attached to mental health just need to disappear. I'm proud to be able to stand in front of you today and say that I struggle with depression and anxiety. I participate in therapy and I take medication to assist my mental state. I have no shame in that. Everyone's struggles are different. My experience may seem extreme to you, but whatever you are dealing with may seem extreme to you. That doesn't mean how you are feeling is less important. You will never, never get past life's difficulties if you only compare them to others. Please, get help if you need it. Help your friends if they need help. Lastly, recognize the good things in your life. Hold them close. They are the things worth fighting for. It may be as small as a warm bed in the morning, a hot shower, or the skillet breakfast at the country cafe downtown. I highly recommend it. Be grateful and don't lose that feeling no matter how dark life gets. Sometimes life feels pretty hopeless. Like, what's the point of all this? I know that feeling intimately. And the only thing that pulls me through this thought is finding things to be grateful for. Trial after trial, tribulation after tribulation, I am grateful to have a wonderful wife by my side. We have faced so much together, and I would not be here today if it weren't for her. I am grateful for her every day, even when she's chewing me out for whatever it was she told me to do last night. I implore all of you listening to me right now, be good to each other. You don't know what others are going through, but a smile or small compliment will go a long way. Thank you all for having me here, and I hope that I reached you.
At this time, the GHS band, under the direction of Mr. Jesse Rosen, will play marching orders. Please stand if you have served or are currently serving in one of the branches so we may recognize you. United States Army. United States Army.
United States Air Force. United States Coast Guard.
The playing of caps has occurred for over 150 years to honor those who have given their lives during or after service. Following a gun salute from the Grantsburg American Legion, caps will be played by GHS sophomore Dylan Blair.
45, here, good. Ball.
Please stand as our nation's colors are retired.
Here, good. Present, army. Order, army. Ready. Order, fire.
program, we would like to invite veterans, community members, and guests to the GHS Commons for refreshments and lunch. Please take a moment to view our newly revamped wall of honor, which is a tribute to Grantsburg alumni who are serving the armed forces and to the sacrifice made by Sergeant Carson Holmes. Thank you to all individuals who have served, are serving, or will serve. GHS students, you're dismissed to Block P class.
Very cool. That's really